Hi, I'm Martha with Quality Driven Software. And as some of you all know, I own a maid service called Dusting Divas. And I'm going to show you today how I use Quality Driven in my own personal business, service business. And so maybe that'll help you use it in ways that maybe you're not using it right now. So the main purpose behind quality-driven software, of course, is to send surveys and get the results back. So I absolutely use that every day. It's the crux of our business. We're sending out surveys. The way we do it is we send it the next day after we've closed out the jobs, assigned the techs to the cleanings, and then we'll send out the surveys after those jobs are closed. So we watch for the response rate, we watch for the scores that come back, any alerts, anything like that. But I also heavily use it for incentivizing my employees. And the first thing that I do is I award all paid time off, excluding holiday pay, through quality scores. So after an employee has been with me for a year, I do give them holiday pay. So all major holidays, if they've been there a year, no matter what their quality score is, they are going to get the paid day off. And then any extra vacation days, we call them PTO, they have to earn. And the way they earn it is by their quality scores, not their quality scores, how many excellence they've had. So my field manager will go into reports. She will pull up the employee report, and then she will go, and she actually does this weekly, but I'm using a demo software so I can protect the names of our employees and our clients. So for this purpose, this is a monthly report. But what she does is she'll go in weekly, and we have a wall that's kind of our PTO wall. And it shows, we have slips of paper that have 120 stars on there, like open stars, just star outlines. And what we do, or she does, is she has a stamp, and she tries to use a different color stamp each time. We got that at like the craft store. It's a kid's thing. And so she would go on the wall on those slips of paper with her little marker stamp, and she's going to give Courtney a one stamp. Henry would get 2 stamps. John Doe would get 3 stamps. Carrie would get 2 stamps. So basically what she's doing is she's going down here and looking at the number of excellence. That's what the 5s are. And she is assigning that. And, my employees can log in. They can look at all this information. We're fully transparent. But I want to use quality driven to the full advantage of incentivizing and motivating people. So we go that extra step that you don't have to do, but we like it very visual and kind of in their face. So sure, they can log in and see this, but we also want reminders, and we want them seeing that employee A has 10 PTO days so far and you have 5. We want them seeing those things because we want them to want the upper echelon. Okay, so that's why we do it. Another thing we do is I give out weekly bonuses, and that is based on their production rate and their quality score. So for my company, my maid service, we're at $37 a labor hour, and I want them to do at least 32 hours of production. Okay, that's not counting drive time, office time, anything like that. I want them to do 32 hours of production a week to get a bonus. And so I set my base pay such that I'm really hoping they get the $40 extra, so at least $1 extra an hour. But I'm not giving it to them. They earn it. So for me, the 32 production hours at $37 an hour is $1,184. And then that's the first step. And I can find that out of my scheduling software. So, and I should back up. We actually have our employees track this themselves, and the employees turn in a weekly bonus tracking sheet because we do have several bonuses. They turn in a weekly bonus tracking sheet, and they're basically telling us if they should qualify for that bonus or not. And if they tell us they qualify for it, then we're going to go check it. So we'd go check it on our scheduling software. And if they did indeed produce $1,184 of revenue, them, not a team, but they produce that amount, then we're going to go and next check their quality scores. So to fully qualify for it, they have to have the production part of it. And then they also have to have, my company is based on a scale of 4, not 5. So in my company, they have to have a 3.65 or better. And for the weekly bonus, I actually require a little lower response rate than I do for other bonuses because I figure that not all of the clients have had a chance to respond. Although we find that most of our clients are going to respond in a couple of days if they're going to respond. So anyway, I require a 50% response rate and a 3.65 or better. Again, this demo site's based on a 5 scale. Mine is based on a 4 scale. So that's why the numbers, I don't want you to think on a 5 scale, I'd only require a 3.65. Not at all. It's a bonus. So they have to be up there. And then the last thing about that is they can't have received a complaint. So they cannot have received a 1 or a 2 during that time period. So if they meet all those criteria, they get the bonus. Now that sounds complicated, and it absolutely would be very complicated if we had to track it manually, but we don't have to track it manually. Number one, the employee is the one responsible. I always shift the responsibility to the employee. So the employee is the one responsible for telling us if they've met it. If they tell us they've met it, then we go check the scheduling software and we can run a report. We can see if they've met it. And then if they've met it, then we come right here and we can see everything else we need to see on who qualified. So it's not nearly as complicated as it sounds. It's kind of a step-by-step. You don't make this step, then okay, we're not even going to look any further. Another thing that we do is in the cleaning world, deep cleans are harder, physically harder. And also, they are likely to get more complaints. At least for us, what we found is that before we started this program, deep cleans, generally they're a one-time clean or they're our first impression on a recurring client. And it tended to happen more with one-time deep cleans than first recurring client clean. But anyway, deep cleans, we got more complaints than anything else. And, they're long, they're hard, all those things. So I had an employee come to me one time and she wanted to know why they didn't get paid more for a deep clean because they were harder. And so I thought about it a little bit and thought, honestly, I'm okay with paying them a little more, but I'm not okay with it because they're getting more complaints. So I basically struck a bargain, and my saying, what do they want? What do I need? I need less complaints. They want more money. So I said, I will pay you $2 extra an hour on deep cleans, but we have to get the survey back, and the survey has to be a good or better, meaning if they score them a gosh, I can't remember the wording, but it's basically, I'm very happy with the cleaning. And the other one is excellent, I would recommend you. So if they score either one of those two things, then we're going to give them the $2 an hour. And again, our employees will turn in that bonus tracking sheet, and they're to write down any deep cleans they did that week so that we don't have to remember who those people are. So that is the deep clean. And what we would do on that is they would turn in that report. We would go say the person's name was, gosh, I don't know, I'm going to pick one, Alice Dorsey, and I'm going to pick year to date because I have no idea on this demo software what we have. All righty. So we're just going to pretend that we had this client, and then we're going to pretend it was within the date range, and I can see that it was a good. And so if my employee turned in that bonus tracking sheet and said Alice Dorsey was a deep clean they had last week, I can look this up, and yes, they did answer, and they gave them a good. So we would pay them the $2 an hour more. Another one that we do is we have a very strict unplanned absence policy, and so we don't really advertise this one to our employees. It's in our policy and procedures, and then of course we do tell them when we need to tell them. We don't hide it, we don't advertise it. That's the only thing. And so I'm big on transparency, and I really, really am. I would never not tell them, but it's not up on our wall that says, hey, earn more unplanned days. But if we have somebody in jeopardy, we will then tell them. So when they get to that point where they're in jeopardy, we allow 3 unplanned absences in a 6-month period. So say they're at 2 or whatever, 2 for sure, 3, we would be looking to see if they're going to qualify for more. And the way that they qualify for more in my company is if they have a 3.65, 2 consecutive months that earns them 1 more unplanned episode. And I use the term episode instead of absence because we do understand that people have legitimate illnesses that cause them to be gone multiple days. You know, goodness, they could be, I don't know, they could have pneumonia or strep throat or something that would cause them to miss more than 1 day, or their child to miss more than 1 day. And we want to be as fair as we can, but have some, limits in there. So what I would do is, let's just say that I wanted to look at last month, and let's say it's Cassandra. And again, I'm not sure if I have data, but we're going to look. And so we're going to pretend I have data. I'm looking at last month. I would look at her quality score, and I would see if she had a 3.65 or above. And then I would go to this month, and then I can do the same thing. And again, we're going to pretend, but here's the thing. I can look right here, and I can see if, I can look at the months, and I can see if she's earned extra. So that is how I would do that, using quality driven. And then these are non-employee things, but these are definitely things that I use with my or use in my company. So for reviews, let me go and look at year to date, just so we have some data. Okay. Any comment that comes back, good or bad, is going to come into this reviews section. And I call it the comment holding section, because that's what it is. It's any comments that come back, and I come through here and decide what I want to push. and I can push them just by doing thumbs up, okay? But if I came to a bad one like this, then I'm not going to push that. And through Quality Driven, I get the chance to review it and decide if I want to push it. If I accidentally did push it, all it would be is just simply unclicking it and it comes back. And I do have my new website pulled up so that you can see that this is how it gets pushed over. So it will show your live satisfaction rate. It will show, I'm on a scale of 4. So it looks like this. If you're on a scale of 5, it would actually have the 5 stars. And then these are the things that I've pushed. So it's going to show the date, and you can make it anonymous. I put in first name, last name. But anyway, that's basically how it looks on our website. All right. And then the other thing that I do is I have my my excellent scores are sent to like landing pages that ask for Google, Yelp, and Facebook reviews. And you do that through your surveys and setting up your template. And I do apologize because this is not one that I've looked at, but I will show you where you would go and we'll see if it's set up. If not, I'll show you where you can set it up. So I went in survey template and I went into edit. I'm in under scale, and there it is. So it would look a little different when it comes across in the landing page, but you can put these are all merge fields. You can put your logo in there. You could put the service state in there if you wanted, but only the people that you want to see this page, and in my case, just the people who give us excellent scores would see a page like this, and they're going to see the Yelp. This one has Angie's List. This one has Google Plus. And you put in the merge fields. Here's the merge fields right here. You put those in, so you get to decide what you want and what you don't want. And just in case you have Quality Driven and you're not familiar with this, you would get that all set up in your My Account, and you go to General. Okay. And then this isn't set up because we don't have a Mo Better Lawn Care Google Place. But if we did, this is where you would put the URL. And so, for example, my Dusting Divas is like Google Place ID.com/Dusting Divas. Okay. It's something like that. Well, I would only put the Dusting Divas. I'm not going to type all that out, but I would only put what's past the /. And there are help links in here to help you figure it out. It says that on the Facebook ID page. One little comment about Yelp: you would only want to enter your business ID, and just pay attention to these help things, because you don't want to automatically sign them in on a direct link in Yelp. Now, you can absolutely do that in Facebook. You can do that in Google, but in Yelp, you're just going to want to send them to your page, not sign them in, because Yelp will penalize you if it's a direct link, and they'll filter that review anyway. So just pay attention to that, and if you have questions, ask. But anyway, that wraps up how I use it. As you can see, because I talked probably 15 minutes, I can see using more and more components. But That's a summary. So hopefully that helps. And thank you.